Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Here's a headline from Coinpedia. XRP recognized as stablecoin by the World Bank, claims former Ripple director. That's right, a former Ripple employee says that the World Bank has recognized XRP as a stablecoin. And you know what? This is true. This actually happened. Yeah, it is real. Now, of course, there's more to it than you would think on the surface, but the reason I want to highlight this is because I've probably seen close to a dozen crypto media outlets covering this story, and I haven't found one of them that understands what led to this, that understands why this former Ripple employee is citing this. But I know because I have a memory and I've been covering XRP related stuff for over half a decade. And I know exactly where this came from and why it's being discussed, so I want to clear it up. Because you might have seen this headline if you check out various crypto media outlets. Again, it's all over the place. And then there's also this story, and this is incredibly fascinating. From the Crypto Basic, Deon is considering running against Senator Elizabeth Warren. That's right. John Deon for United States Senate. I kid you not. This I would love to see. Oh my God, yes, I would love to see this. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Okay, so into this first story, but if you're if you don't know where I'm going with this, I'll just tell you, it's not what you're going to think. It's not what you would guess, right? Piece reads as follows. In a recent Twitter exchange initiated by Ripple supporter Wrath of Kahneman, the debate around XRP's role in the stablecoin ecosystem gained momentum. Former Ripple director Sean McBride joined in, offering insights and shedding light on the World Bank's classification of XRP as a stablecoin. So, is XRP about to transform into a stablecoin powerhouse? Or is there another play in Ripple's playbook? Let's explore. McBride expressed belief in XRP's utility and revealed the World Bank sees it as a stablecoin, hinting at a possible shift from its current status as a US-pegged cryptocurrency by Ripple. And so let me just go straight to the source. I don't need to literally read the whole article. But here was the post from Wrath of Kahneman that they were referencing. And this post was from yesterday. At what point does Ripple issue their own stablecoin? Do the custody acquisitions suggest it? Use it in automated market maker liquidity pools? Put it on exchanges with much greater attestation and compliance than USDT/USDC? Maybe too much capital outlay. The AMM is awesome, but who will fill liquidity pools? And hey, you know what? Fair enough question. If Ripple ever thought it would make business sense for them to do so, then I imagine that they would. Of course, that's a whole different animal. And also note that Ripple has been pushing, obviously, for governments to use the XRP ledger as a template for central bank digital currency, so it would be a separate blockchain. But there are also instances where at least one nation, remember Palau? I haven't checked on that one in a while, actually. So I don't know for sure what the status is, but they were moving forward, at least with a pilot, to actually have a stable coin issued by that government on the XRP ledger. So it's not that there's nothing going on in that realm. It's just a question of, does Ripple need it for their own purposes? To what end would it be helpful? And so fair enough question anyway. But here you have former Ripple director Sean McBride. And he wrote back to Wrath of Kahneman and said, Ripple has tons of capital. I'm super interested in your thoughts here, though. Why move away from XRP and its utility with progress being made, and many, including the World Bank, already classifying XRP as a stablecoin? Thank you for all your research and insight. It's truly appreciated. And Wrath of Kahneman wrote back and said, thanks. I wasn't thinking of a move away from XRP so much as a liquidity generator for it via the AMM, Automated Market Maker. So many reports note XRP volatility as a drawback for payments. I don't see it that way, but wonder if a fully regulated stablecoin could draw that liquidity to the ledger. Yeah, so a couple things on that one. As far as the volatility, that's correct. It doesn't matter because the transactions are so quick. If you're just bridging something with XRP, the price of XRP functionally does not matter. There's less volatility with that than going through, legacy finance, the existing correspondent banking system, converting from one fiat currency to another with just a, just a chain of bilateral banking transactions. And if you're considering that, given that it takes a number of days, the volatility is actually much worse with fiat currencies. It actually is. There's like Ripple did a report on this several years or so ago, and I've referenced it from time to time over there. So it is true. I'm not worried about it. I don't think that's particularly a problem. But again, Sean McBride here said World Bank classified XRP as a stablecoin. Now, of course, that's what's going to have a lot of people scratching their heads, and none of these articles that I've seen so far anyway address that. Like, wait a minute, where's the proof? Because it is true, they actually did make this claim. But where's the proof of that, and how so? Well, that's what takes us to this document. Central Bank Digital Currencies for Cross-Border Payments. From November of 2021. I remember covering this years ago. I covered this when this came out, and I highlighted how stupid this is. This is wrong. So yes, they did write this. This is a document from World Bank, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're writing about highly consequential and technical things, and they do not know what in the ever-loving hell they're talking about. That's the bottom line. So I'll show you exactly where this came from, but that's what I was saying at the outset. It wouldn't be what you think it is. Yes, the World Bank did claim that XRP is a stablecoin, but they're wrong, and it is not. A stablecoin is typically backed by something. Look at like Tether, for example. It's allegedly backed anyway, and it's always worth the same price, whereas XRP is backed by nothing and has an open market price that floats freely. It can't be both a stablecoin and have an open market price that jumps around all over the place. Either it's backed by something or it's not, and XRP is not. This is a non sequitur. This literally makes no sense, but this is what they wrote. And this is the part that's relevant right here. They wrote, stablecoin refers to a class of digital currencies that are relatively stable in terms of their price. Stablecoins offer instantaneous processing and security of payments, as many cryptocurrencies do. They also offer stability with respect to their parity against fiat currencies. Two digital currencies that fall into this category are RippleNet's native digital currency, Ripple XRP, and Stellar Networks' native cryptocurrency, the Stellar Lumen XLM. Both Ripple and Stellar enable faster and more efficient cross-border payments relative to correspondent banking. However, they differ in that the former aims at improving cross-border settlement between international banks, whereas the latter aims at providing low-cost cross-border payment financial services to end users and the unbanked population. So, you know what's perhaps most interesting to me, because I already knew about this, and maybe some of you this is ringing a bell if you were around back in 2021, but I ripped this to shreds back then, and I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it, but obviously it just is wrong. What's actually more fascinating to me is that a former Ripple director didn't dispute that the World Bank made this claim, because this is bogus nonsense. It's clearly not true. Yes, the World Bank claimed it. He was right in asserting that. But why is he even referencing that, since it's complete and utter nonsense? That's what I'm curious about. That's the curious part to me. So anyway, if you've seen this being discussed, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this being discussed, that's why, that's where it came from. But none of the outlets knew what Sean McBride was talking about, and I instantly did. So I had to go hunt this thing down. But there it is. It's stupid. STLLPID. Stupid. Autobandash badge. Now to the next story. Deon is considering running against Senator Elizabeth Warren, who, by the way, fun fact, is the worst United States senator that there ever has been, or ever will be. Pro-XRP attorney John Deon is considering running as a Republican against anti-crypto Senator Elizabeth Warren in this year's U.S. Senate election. Two Republican insiders familiar with Deon's plan, including Jim Conroy, revealed the information to the Boston Globe yesterday. Conroy, who has been consulting with Deon, confirmed yesterday that the pro-XRP lawyer will decide in the coming days whether to challenge Senator Warren in the upcoming state election. Now, folks, Elizabeth Warren, I don't care if you are on the left politically or right politically, that's not why. That's not what matters for the purpose of this. This is a non-political channel. The only time that I will talk about anything having to do with politics is when it has to do with finance and or crypto. But that means that the politicians are tiptoeing into my world. You know, I'm not jumping into their world of politics. they're creeping on me if they're talking about crypto and stuff and any sort of regulation having to do with it. But other than that, not talking politics. I have no interest, and I never will be preaching politics on this channel, period. So I don't care if you're on the left, if you're on the right. Fantastic. We have some commonality here at a minimum with crypto and XRP. Pretty cool, right? So let's just leave it at that mostly. But my God, she is awful, absolutely awful for crypto. Disgustingly awful. If she could magically have her way at the snap of a finger, she would just make crypto go away, and then you just wouldn't have your opportunity at life-changing wealth. These people need to be voted out. And look, I've said before, I'm not a one-issue voter, but this is something that will weigh heavily for me because it's highly consequential for my actual net worth and yours. And so vote whatever way you want, but I'm just telling you, the Biden, existing administration, the Biden administration, way worse against crypto than what we saw under the previous administration. So just know what you're voting for as it pertains to crypto. If you want to go that way, it's your call. I'm just saying, just know that you are voting against your own financial interest as it specifically pertains to crypto. We've seen evidence for that for years now under this administration. And look at Kim Jong-Gensler, my God. And yes, I know Jay Clayton was under Trump, but my God, it got even worse somehow. Like, what? It's ridiculous. And so John Deaton, he's talked about this idea of going up against Elizabeth Warren, but he wasn't living in the right state. So how does this come to pass? Well, let me go a little bit further because you're going to find this super duper interesting. Notably, the race for who would become the next Massachusetts senator has been relatively dull since Warren announced her re-election bid last year. Last month, Politico reported that no prominent figure from the Republican Party has been able to accept the challenge of unseating Warren, who has been Massachusetts senator for over a decade. However, this could change soon if Deaton enters the race, as he could become a major threat to Senator Warren's re-election plans. Prior to the Boston Report, famous Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett recently disclosed that she believes a battle is brewing after attorney Deaton changed his address on Meta, formerly Facebook. Now, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? The screenshot shared by Terrett showed that Deaton has moved to Swansea, a town in Bristol County in southeastern Massachusetts. In addition, Terrett recounted Deaton's remark during his latest crypto law livecast, saying he would, quote, be going to where the fight is needed the most, end quote. So there you go. Interesting. Massachusetts. I'm just saying... John Deaton months ago actually highlighted it at the time. He was kind of lamenting the fact that he wasn't living in the right state to run against her, but now he is. And so here you can see Eleanor Terrett posted, my spidey senses tell me there's a battle brewing. John Deaton says in his latest crypto law US video, quote, I'm a Marine. I'm going to where the fight is needed the most, end quote. And this Rhode Island lawyer has changed his address to Massachusetts. Now, John Deaton responded to that. And I like this response. Check this out. Not sure what you're getting at, Ellie. And then he had a little laughy emoji, so obviously he's well aware of what she's getting at, so that he can run against Elizabeth Warren. And then he said, but for the record, in addition to living in Swansea, Massachusetts, I've been a Massachusetts lawyer for 23 years, representing Massachusetts asbestos victims against corporations and insurance companies. I've lived in Roxbury, East Boston, and Malden, and I graduated law school at New England School of Law in Boston. I signed my enlistment papers for the USMC in Boston and was selected by the Marines to represent the Commonwealth of Massachusetts over students at Harvard, BC, BU, and Suffolk law schools. I couldn't afford Harvard, but I did beat out a Harvard applicant. My second daughter is a senior at University of Massachusetts Amherst. In addition to representing Massachusetts mesothelioma victims for over 2 decades, I represent 627 XRP holders in Massachusetts against the SEC's gross overreach as amicus counsel in the SEC v. Ripple case, as well as Massachusetts Coinbase customers in SEC v. Coinbase. My business loan is with a Massachusetts bank. And the list goes on regarding my connection to Massachusetts. Yeah, so no doubt, should he choose to do this, I don't think it's going to be a problem that he just moved to Massachusetts because he's so tied to it, obviously. And again, is a Massachusetts lawyer and has been for 23 years. So I don't think that would be an issue when it comes to the voters. But my God, if he brings the fight to Elizabeth Warren, oh my God, that would be fantastic. If Elizabeth Warren could actually be ousted, my God, because she's a disaster for crypto. She just is. And I'll speak out. I don't care if a politician's on the left or the right. Any politician that is trying to ruin crypto and our opportunity for life-changing wealth, I speak out against them. I always have, I always will. For me, it's not about whether it's left or right. It's just if they have a crap policy as it pertains to crypto, I'm going to push back against it, as we all should, because they're wrong and they're harming their constituents. So we'll see what happens here, but pretty cool stuff, right? I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.